Have you ever found yourself building flows and you realize you're using the same design patterns over and over and over? Or if you're anything like me, have you ever found yourself building a flow and you're like, man, I'm not really sure how to do this in Power Automate expressions, but I absolutely know how to do this in Power FX? Well, if that describes you at all, then boy, do I have a cool new feature for you in the Power Platform. It's called functions. If you're wondering where to go to get started with this new feature, if you go to make.powerapps.com and you go over on the left and go to more, then you're going to go to discover all. This is a preview feature right now. If you scroll down all the way at the bottom, you'll see functions. I have run into situations where certain environments don't even show functions right here. So if that's you, you're going to go up to your URL, get rid of this last piece here. So it might say discover, or if you're still on the home page, it'll stay home, and just type in business logic. That will take you to the functions page. That's how new this thing is. Now, there's lots of cool things we can do with these functions. I'm going to show you just a couple of use cases here today. A common one that I see over and over again is people wanting to know, how do I sum an array of numbers in Power Automate? It seems like such a simple thing to do. Maybe I just haven't found it yet, but I'll show you how I used to do this, and I'll show you how I do this now that we have the Power Platform functions. So I have a quick demo set up where I have a SharePoint list with a couple of expense items. And you can see I've got some subscriptions, some health, some car and transport expenses. Now, let's say I wanted to run a flow that just summed up how much am I spending each month on subscriptions. Now, this list is pretty easy to tell because I only have 3 expenses in here that are subscriptions, but I've got YouTube TV for $120 plus Netflix and HBO for $40 together. So that would be $160. But what happens when you have a list with thousands of items? It becomes really difficult to just sum up that number. So in Power Automate, here's how I would do this in the past. I've got a flow started here where I'm just going to manually trigger a flow, and I'm going to get all the items from that list where the category is equal to subscriptions. So a couple months ago, if you asked me how to do this, I would have initialized a variable. I would have called this VAR amount. I would have made the type of that variable a float value, and I would have started with an initial value of 0. Then for each item that I found where the category is subscription, I would have incremented that variable by the amount of each item. So var amount is the variable I want to increment, and I would have incremented by the amount from get items. Then let's just throw a compose in here at the end to see what that comes out to. So I'll do a compose action, and I'll just put in after the looping, how much are our monthly subscriptions. Go ahead and manually test that, and we'll see we should get 160. The flow is not going to take very long to run, but if we had thousands of items, it would take quite a while for the flow to churn through that loop. And we can see $160 towards subscriptions in the given month. Now let's think of a better way to do this. And the thing I love about these expressions is that they can be called from any flow that you want. It's not just a one-time build. You build this one expression and you can use it hundreds of times and across all your different flows. So now what we're going to do instead with the Power Platform functions is I'm going to show you how to get started and create one. So let's go to new function at the top. And I've already created one before this called PA sum. So for the purposes of this demo, I'm just going to call this sum in Power Automate. There has to be a description, so I'll just copy the display name. If you're going to be sharing this function with others, definitely give it a good description. This function needs to have some input data, and we also need to specify what we want to pass out of this function. So for the input parameters, I'm going to pass in the amounts, and here's the different data types you can pass in. You can pass in Boolean values, date times, decimals, floats, integers, and strings. Unfortunately, there's nothing here for arrays. So I'm going to get a little bit creative here, and I'm going to say that the amounts, I'm going to format those as a string. You can also set table references here. With functions, you can patch records, you can collect records, you can loop over things. So we're not going to do that in this first demonstration. So I just want to use this to show you how to build your functions. So for the formula, this is using Power FX. So first, the outputs of this has to be an object. It's always an object that contains all of the outputs that we set. Now, I forgot to set an output, so let me go back. After we set the amounts as a string, the output of this, I'm going to call this the summed amounts. And I'm going to format that as a float value. So basically a decimal number. So we have to specify our formula as an object. So I'm going to put it in between curly brackets. And we have to specify our different outputs. So I'm going to say summed amounts, colon, which is saying like the summed amounts output is equal to. And now I want to take this amounts that we passed in, and I'm going to do some transformation to it. And you'll see it pop up here in the IntelliSense. This IntelliSense is coming from our inputs and outputs over here. So summed amounts is equal to amounts. Not quite. We're going to pass in basically a comma separated list of amounts, and we want to turn that into an array. So I'm going to split the amounts. I'm going to split those by some common delimiter that we can specify in the flow. So I'm going to split the amounts by, we'll just do a pipe delimiter. The split function essentially takes that common delimiter separated string, and it's going to put it into an array with one column called value. So now I want to sum this array, and the column that I want to add to my sum is going to be called value. Now that's technically not going to work because the outputs of the split operation in that value column, that's going to be a string. So this value column, I need to wrap this in a value expression, which will convert that string to a number. Okay, so everything's happy. My save button is enabled. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. Remember, the inputs are going to be amounts. And in my formula, I'm saying that that amounts string is going to be a bunch of different amounts separated by a pipe delimiter. Great. It's saved. So I have this new function called sum in Power Automate. So back in my flow, I'm going to go back to edit. I'm going to get rid of the old way of doing this. And the way to call your function in Power Automate is to use what's called an unbound action. It's a Dataverse action. But first, we need to get the amounts in this list in a way that that function will understand it. Remember, it's going to be a pipe delimited list of numbers. So just to make my expression a little bit easier, first, I'm going to do a select operation where I can choose just the column I want from this get items step. So from body/value from get items. So that's our array of all of our expenses. And if I want just a one column array and I don't want to specify any keys, I can just hit this to switch to text mode. And I want to put in the amount from get items. Then after I've created that one column array, I'm going to join the outputs of that with a pipe delimiter. So let's go ahead and test this. Let's make sure I'm getting the value that I want. So it should just be 3 numbers separated by a pipe delimiter. So if we look back at our SharePoint, we can see we have 3 subscriptions. So it should be 120 and then a pipe and then 25 and then a pipe and then 15. We can see the outputs. There it is, 25, 15, 120 separated by a pipe. So now we have it in a way that our function will recognize it. All we have to do is call this function from our flow. Now, the way to call your function from a flow is to use the perform an unbound action with Dataverse. And then here you'll see a list of all of the different actions in your Dataverse environment. And if we search for Power Automate, we can see right here, we have sum in Power Automate. That's the function we just created. So we have our function, sum in Power Automate. Now we have some parameters for this function. It's not showing in the new designer, but if I click show all, you'll see there's the amounts parameter that we need to pass into this function. So I'm going to pass in the outputs of my join operation. Now I'm going to give that a test, and hopefully we get 160 as the outputs of this unbound action. There's our unbound action. If we go to the raw outputs, we can see the summed amounts is 160. Now, the thing that I love about this is all this setup, all the creating the function, I don't have to do every time I have a flow where I want to sum up a list of numbers. I can call this action or this function from any flow that I have in this environment. That's the best part about it. You can also call these functions from Power Apps. So have you ever been building an app, or if you ever use components in Power Apps, this is like creating components for your code. So if you go into Power Apps, I have a quick app set up where I have a text input where I can type in some numbers, and let's see how to call this expression or call this function from an app. The first thing we have to do is add a data source. So our data source where all of our functions are stored is in the environment table. So I'm going to bring in the environment table. Now, just as a warning, this will make all of your apps premium. So if you don't have a subscription or a license for Dataverse, then you will not be able to do this, unfortunately. So we have our environment table added. I'm going to go ahead and just add a quick button. And then I'll add a text label to show our outputs. Perfect. So how about we type into here, we click the button, it does the sum for us. Obviously, this would be very easy to do in Power Apps. The point is just to show you how to call these functions in your app. So this button, I'm going to set a variable, and I'll call this var total. And I want to set that to environment dot, there's my sum in Power Automate function. It's asking for an input called amounts. So I'll put that in curly brackets, and the amounts for right now, I'll just say, hey, this text input contains my string of numbers. Then I want to pull in the summed amounts. Now, what gets returned from this call right here is going to be an object, and that object contains a field called summed amounts. So if I wanted to store just the entire object as my variable, I can do that as well. But then I just need to convert that if I want to show that in my app. So on my text label here, I'm going to say, show me var, what do we call that? Var total, which is a record or an object, and then dot summed amounts. So if I go in here, and remember, our function requires our numbers to be split by a pipe. So I'll just do 500, 200, and 100. And that returns 800. If I add another number in here, click the button, pretty cool stuff. I love showing this as the first example because this is a common thing in Power Automate to just want to sum a list of numbers. And again, I have not found a great way to do it until functions came along. As I was trying to come up with ideas for this video, another idea that I had is a lot of times in your flows, you want to calculate the next business day. I don't know a great way to do that in Power Automate. Maybe there's some really cool expression or function that I don't know of, but I know how to do that really well with Power FX. So let's go ahead and try another one. I'm going to go back and I'm just going to create a new flow. Get next business day. I'm just going to do a quick compose action and do an expression called UTC now. This is the Power Automate expressions. And if I look through here, there's going to be a category for date and time. Here's all the date and time functions that we can do that are kind of built into Power Automate. We can get UTC now, get a future timestamp, get a past timestamp, add to time. So there's a lot of things we can do here. But if I know that I'm going to be wanting to calculate the next business day in a lot of different flows, and I don't want to memorize how to do this, then I'm going to use a function for this. So back to functions, let's do a new function. I'll call this get next biz day. So my inputs, call this start day, and this data type will be a date time. And then the output will say next biz day. That is also going to be a date time. My formula, again, it has to be an object. I'll say next biz day. Don't forget to add your description or it will not let you save your function. So for the next business day, I'm going to do the date add function in Power FX. But at first I need to know how many days to add. I have the start day that I'm passing in, and I'm going to use that to calculate which day of the week it is. So I'm going to use a with statement in order to just use a contextual variable for this formula. So I'm going to say with, and I'm going to name my variable. I'll call this days to add. So in this statement, I'm going to figure out how many days should I add to the start date. With days to add being equal to, let's use the weekday function. And you can see as I'm typing these expressions, it's going to tell you the outputs of these expressions and how to get them to work. So the weekday function is going to return a number, from 1 to 7, depending on the date timestamp that we pass in. The range is from 1 to 7, 1 being Sunday and 7 being Saturday. So the weekday of start day. And before I calculate that, I'm going to do a switch statement. So I'm going to switch on the outcome of this weekday expression. So if the outputs of what weekday is it, if that comes down to 6 means Friday. And to get the next business day of Friday, I need to add 3 days, right? Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday. If the outputs of weekday is 6, then I know I want to add 3 days to that. If the outcome of the weekday of the start day gives us 7, then I want to add 2 days. Because if it's Saturday, the next business day would be Monday. So I need to add 2 days to Saturday to get to Monday. For everything else, if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, or Sunday, then the next business day is just the next day. So for all else, my default value here, I'm just going to use 1. That formula gives me the days to add. Now, all I have to do is do a date add formula. The date we want to add to is our input start day. The number of units to add is our contextual variable called days to add. And then our time unit is time unit dot days. Now we can save this formula. This is another one where you could do this in Power Automate. If you find yourself doing this a lot for a lot of your flows, then you just do it once here in the functions area of the Power Platform, and you can call this function from wherever you are. We now have this new function called get next biz day. Go back to Power Automate, and we'll say do an unbound action. Get next biz day. And the start day parameter, I want to pass in the outputs of our compose action. Now today, as I'm building this flow, it is Tuesday, May 6th. So this should return May 7th. And there we go. The next biz day is 5/7. What if I go in here and I'm going to add an input to my flow, and we'll do a date. So this trigger date, perfect. Rather than doing this compose action, we're going to pass in from our dynamic content the trigger date. This way we can test this. So we'll manually run this and we'll say our trigger date. Let's try Friday the 9th and hope that it returns the 12th. So the 9th run flow. We're having a little bit of UTC. So I'm just going to do a quick compose. I'm going to add hours to our trigger date. I'm in Eastern Standard Time Zone, so I'm going to add 5 hours. And then I'll perform my unbound action with the outputs of that compose statement. Always be sure to account for time zone differences. So now we'll say the trigger date is 5/9. And the next business day is 5/12. We look at our calendar, that is accurate. Now, if I run this again, and let's try Saturday. So Saturday the 10th should also return 5/12. There we go. The next business day is 5/12. And then one more time for good luck. Let's try Thursday the 8th, which should return May 9th as the next business day. Next business day, May 9th. So now I've got a reusable function, a reusable bit of code that I can call from my flows, from my apps. I would love to hear from you all. What use cases do you have for this type of function? So in here, obviously the use cases we did was the ability to sum up an array of numbers, the ability to get a next business day. What other things do you have trouble with in Power Apps or Power Automate that you would like to be able to just call as a function? Let me know in the chat. And for the next week or two after this video is published, I'll be monitoring those questions, and any really good use cases, I'll either make a video on it or I'll put in the comment, I'll just reply with the formula that I would use to solve for that. I'm very interested to see what you guys come up with. Thanks so much for watching. I know this was kind of a long video, but hopefully this helps get you started with this really cool new feature that's still in preview, but it's going to solve so many business challenges for everyone. So thank you very much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.